First of all, quick update on Hurricane Laura. The excavation, um, evacuations, evacuations went fairly well. So loss of life is pretty minimal at this point for what we know. But yeah, about 1 million people are without power. We'll see out in the coming days how bad the infrastructure, but loss of life minimal. Good job evacuating, and for all those who had their head on straight, cheers. All right, Restream.io. I am not an affiliate on Twitch, so before anyone mentions that, that's against TOS is restreaming. Non-issue here. But for anyone that's used it, I haven't had a chance to try to troubleshoot this issue, but my initial test stream worked, going to both YouTube and Facebook. Although the updating the title was a bit spot like it would do, I think, Twitch but not YouTube, or vice versa, and then also selecting game, that doesn't seem to work either. And now after that first test one, YouTube does no longer go live. In fact, both of them just say sending. Anyway, if anyone has used Restream.io and has an idea of what's going on, otherwise I'm just going to go back to, because what I'm having to do right now is grab the VOD off of Twitch and upload it to YouTube anyway. So Restream now is saving me no hassle whatsoever. So if anyone has any ideas, just in the YouTube comments section, once I put this up on YouTube, if you can let me know. Okay, moving on to the next one. Masks. So there's these three questions you need to ask yourself when you're dealing with masks. This is beyond COVID. This is beyond the current situation. This is just masks in general. Is what are you filtering? And they all tie together. So if for example I want to filter something that is on a very fine microscopic level, and if I want to effectively filter it, I need to make sure the mask is designed to filter that. Viruses are tiny, really tiny. So your typical mask, that we're using will not filter the viruses themselves, but it can filter droplets that would host the virus. So what are we dealing with? So in this current example, what we're dealing with, with droplets, possibly infected droplets. But that's the question you need to ask with whenever you're talking about using a mask. And then the why. Is the cost and hassle justified? So if it's like you can get these really cheap dust filters. I can get a pack of them at the dollar store, and let's say you're dealing with just sawdust. Those are perfectly capable of preventing those big particles from getting in your mouth. So the cost benefit analysis of that equation is like, okay, I don't spend the buck or two on these masks, and I breathe in all the sawdust, and I can have lung issues versus cheap mask. It's justified versus not wearing a mask. The mask is the efficacy of the mask is worth the cost and the hassle in that in that case. So because of this sensitive topic we're dealing with coronavirus, I'm not going to make specific recommendations. I'm going to post. I'm going to mention these issues, and then you can look for yourself, and you can decide based on the information that's out there, is the current recommended guidelines logical or are they not? Okay, so we got the what, we got the why. Okay, and then the question, the next question is who. And who is being protected is going to determine whether or not, what kind of mask you're going to use. Because most masks that your average person is going to use is a negative pressure mask. So I'm going to go through the different kinds of masks now. So the most common one you're seeing being used is a surgical mask. All right, so it goes like this. Now I'm going to increase the size of me here. Okay. So you can see, first of all, when I'm exhaling, you can see my glasses are fogging up. Now I can feel also, both as I'm breathing out, I can feel hot air escaping out the sides. It's not creating a really good seal. And so this is not really for protecting me. Now I've got a cigarette, something in cigarette, and some cigarettes are worse than others. I've got an allergy to, and I can instantly, like one of these masks won't cut it, because when I breathe in, I can feel cold air, because it's going to take the path of least resistance. I can feel it coming in here, here, here. So this is not gonna, if you know, the bigger particles of, you know, from cigarette smoke are gonna make it in through here, much more likely you're gonna have a virus gonna make it here. So this is not for protecting me. Now if I was to hold it like this, like I actually did have to use it, use one of these today for I was encountering some cigarette smoke, so I was holding it, so now all the air is going, it's drawing through the mask. So this is now like a true negative pressure filtration. So you can actually see the mask depresses and breathing in, and then when breathing out, you can see it ballooning out. Okay, so it's going to escape up the sides. The function of these surgical masks is when you cough, when you or you talk, it's going to catch the droplets, the moisture coming out of your mouth, and it's going to catch it on this medium here. So you just definitely don't want to share these. That defeats the whole point of these masks, but it's to protect others from those large droplets. Now I want to make a dishonorable mention of what people are using as an alternative to these surgical masks, and that is these neck gaiters. So depending that, you know, you just like a turtleneck, and you just bring up and covers your nose and mouth. Those, depending on the material, cotton's all right, but can't remember what the different materials they say are especially troublesome. But if it doesn't catch the droplets, instead is a fine mesh kind of material, and then you breathe out, you cough, it actually turns those larger droplets now into an aerosol. And instead of those large droplets just drifting down, the aerosol, it's so light, it just goes with the air drafts, and it's much more likely to cause trouble for others. So they're, like it says here, they can be worse than nothing. And then when you okay, so we dealt with those type. We mentioned the negators. Okay, so this is an N95 mask. So here, put it on properly. Oh, forgot to do that. Oh, and then actually, I'll get back to that in a moment. Actually, I don't even need to do that. You'll, with the surgical mask, you'll see some people wearing it like this because it's inconvenient, and there's been a lot of people poo-pooing this. And yes, that defeats some of the purpose, but not all of it. Your nose already has, not that you need to see inside my nose, but already has built-in organic filtration. That's what those nose hairs are for. That's why you want to breathe through your nose, and it moisturizes the air rather than breathing through your mouth. And it's already pointing down versus your mouth. It's gonna more project. So having it just on the mouth is better than nothing. It's not great, but it is better than nothing. Of course, if you sneeze, come in the you still want to at least cover that or put on the mask properly. Okay, so these ones, now, if I was to wear this properly, screw it. I've got time. Let's do this. Let's put it on proper here. All right. So now it's creating the seal all around. Now I can still tell it's drawing in a little bit from the sides, but it's a pretty decent seal on this one. Now, but I still notice, because it's a negative pressure, when I breathe in, it's going to suck the mask. If anything, it's going to improve the seal. But when I exhale, I can, again, and my glasses are fogging up a bit as well. So there is still some leaking out around here, but it is an improvement over just expelling whatever full force outward. Now there are N95 masks similar to this that have valves. Now, and this is where we get back into the who scenario here. Question is, who are you actually protecting? So if these are for mostly protecting others, these are more for protecting you, especially when you get into ones that have valves. So here's a more advanced respirator. So you can see this is going to make a much better seal. So now there's I feel like nothing coming in around the side. It's making a nice tight seal. But when I exhale, I've got this valve here. So instead of it going out along the sides, I get quite a bit of pressure coming out this. And the air that's coming out through this valve isn't filtered. Other than just, well, not much filtered. So there might, the initial large droplets, there is some, it's still better than nothing, because the larger droplets still got to hit this surface, and then they'd have to redirect, and it's reducing the velocity. So these are still having the valve. It first of all makes it easier for you. Like I'm not gonna have my glasses don't fog up thanks to the nice tight seal here. But not so great less than ideal for others. Now, if you want to protect both you and another, then you'd have to look into something more advanced, like a positive pressure system. So that is either a powered filtration system. So rather than you having to draw in the air, it's going to be powered so that it forces air through a filter and then gives you the clean air, or it has a whole separate air supply, and then it can handle the filtration ongoing, both from you and like it's basically creating a complete barrier, protecting both parties. Now, there's another. I won't bother pulling up a picture. It's just simple. You've seen those clear shields, just like plastic shields. Those accomplish something like this. These give the appearance of being more protective for the wearer, and I guess in some aspects they are, especially like for me, for the cigarette smoke, that would have done nothing, just having that barrier, but this helps. But those are also better than nothing. But again, it all comes down to what are we filtering, and does it justify the mask? So you're going to have to decide for yourself based on the data. I could give my own opinion, but we'll leave that for one-on-one talks, and we'll leave it at that for this public guide, I guess. So that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in, and once it's done compiling Twitch, I'll send this up to YouTube. Thanks. Have a good one.